a coach as good as Roy Williams, a Hall of Fame coach, 4 years removed from winning a national championship, retired because he felt like he couldn't connect to today's players. And now you have a coach in Hubert Davis in his first year. You know how much Hubert Davis cares about this university. You know how much this opportunity means to Coach Davis, and he's now struggling to get his message across. What more do you think can be done for this Carolina team, for players to start to where it isn't, we're questioning their effort and their toughness, and it might be a talent issue, but it's not whether or not like they're going into a game with the right mindset and the right focus.
Yeah, I mean, I think for one, I'm just going to say this for all the fans out there that are slandering Coach Davis and thinking he's not the right man for the job. As a player, right, as a player, when you're playing, you can very easily blame a coach for, man, coach isn't letting me get the amount of touches. They're not letting me get this, they're not letting me do this, that. All the fans out there that are talking, saying Coach Davis isn't good enough for the job, all this kind of stuff. A coach can only take a team so far, right? Like when you look at a Hall of Famer like Coach Williams, right? He set his players up perfectly. He got them into the situations for success. But when you look at his teams, when they were on the floor, actually went out there and did it, right? Like they were, you look at the 2005 team, that team was crazy talented, right? But when they got onto the floor, you never questioned like, man, like they're not really giving that much effort. They still had their bad games, but what you never were sitting there like after this game against Miami, you were never sitting there like, man, how in the world, where do they go from here? You never were sitting there doing that. And so I think what you're seeing is Coach Davis, obviously it's his first year, right? It's a lot of learning curves. But what you're seeing is like the players themselves aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing on the court. And so Coach Davis can only do so much in practice and so much in film and so much in the huddles. But when it comes down to it, the players that are on the court have to do the work. If they don't, then there's no success, right? Like a coach can't all of a sudden – I haven't met many people besides Coach Williams himself that loves UNC as much as Coach Davis does. Like the whole bleed blue deal, like Coach Davis bleeds Carolina blue. So there is no lacking of like energy and spirit. Like there's no lacking of any of that from Coach Davis. So the only thing that I can look at is, okay, now the players just aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, And so I think for all of those all those fans watching the games and saying, man, like we should, Coach Davis, is he really the one? Yeah. We need to be looking at the players themselves. Like, are the players really doing what they're supposed to be doing? And I think a lot of that comes from the leadership and the effort and the mindset of the players going into each and every game. I don't know if they've necessarily kept the same mindset. One thing that I will say about my team when I was at UNC, we always had a collective group that was able to go into each and every game with the same mindset. We still had our bad games. There were still games when we didn't do what we were supposed to do, but we were able to go into a game saying, okay, this is the game that we are ready for today. Right? Like the coach would always say, this is the most important game because it's today's game. And so we would always go into the game locked into that game. I don't know necessarily if these players are going into each and every game locked in as much as they should be. And so then the whole entire thing, when you have a bad game like this, then it's like you start questioning this and that and this and that. And I think the players themselves have to take a look, whether it's at film, whether it's at just looking at themselves and saying, okay, what can I do better? Because there's got to be more accountability within the players, not just from the coaches and that kind of stuff.